All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another live stream. Could be, possibly, maybe. Let's see. So once we have somebody join, just let me know if you can hear me okay. Get confirmation on the audio. Oh man, it's been a little while, dude, since we've done a live stream. Just been really busy this year with the baby, of course, and everything. But definitely, want to do some streams with you guys as long as he stops crying, because he can make quite the racket. You better believe it, dude. It's like, as long as we keep him fed, it's good. He's good. But if he's not totally full, if he's bored, if he's not engaged in something, or people are not paying attention to him, he goes crazy. So it makes it difficult to do streams. Although I know you guys wouldn't mind if there's a little bit of crying in the background and whatnot. But so that's mainly why I haven't been doing too many of them. Really, each week I've pretty much and welcome everybody. Thanks for joining. We got Bryant Martinez. What's up, man? Little Savage. Laugh Slap Productions, and I'm a Jams. Thank you guys for joining. We'll do one for Daryl tonight for the Daryl series. Let me make sure my chat is showing. It should be, but sometimes I don't know. YouTube's a little bit buggy sometimes with the chats and stuff. So. What's up to Mike Regali and everybody? So this year, with pretty much since Dead City, with the newborn and everything, there we go. We got Mazda. Thanks, Mazda. Appreciate the chat. There we go. Chat's kicking in now, guys. There we go. Thank you, YouTube. There we go. So since June, baby was born in June. Tristan was born on the 10th. So he's doing great. Everything's really awesome with him and everything. We're having a great time and everything. I'm off until the new year, just helping out to take care of him and everything, parental leave and all that. So, just to help Jess with taking care of him and everything. But it is, man, it's a huge thing. It's our first baby, so so it's quite a bit. And as a result, I've had to go ahead and kind of step back a bit from making a lot of videos with the channel, just simply because, he's more important. Family takes priority first. And then you can do, a hobby or work/hobby afterwards. So that's what's up. That's the reason why. Now, luckily, with the Daryl spinoff series, we've been able to do a review every week. We haven't missed a week. We haven't missed a review, so that's good. Reviews of every episode, 1 through 6 in the channel right now for you guys. I felt like it was a great finish off to the first season. I thought it was an awesome sort of, adventure to see Daryl in, and had some good comments recently, people saying like The Walking Dead didn't really end. What it did is they finished the original series and then they just basically splintered off the characters into different spin-off series, and it looks like it's doing great so far. The Daryl spin-off series I read, I think it set a record for AMC Plus. I think it surpassed Dead City for the amount of people that signed up for AMC Plus for it, AMC Premiere, they used to call it. For some reason, they're not showing the episodes on Thursday to Friday, though. They're waiting until Sunday, and then you get to see them on Sunday. But, kind of think they should probably move that back to like a Friday thing where you get like a couple days early. But whatever, it's all good if, that's what they decide to do. And as long as people are supporting it, people are interested in AMC Plus, then, whatever works for them, whatever they're going to do, whatever makes sense is what they're going to do. But yeah, the first season for Daryl, I think it did surpass. Now I think Dead City set cable records for a new premiere for AMC, so it did awesome. It was a huge premiere and everything. But it sounds like the Daryl spinoff series has gotten more AMC Plus signups. Now, obviously, the ones who live getting to see Rick return, that's going to be the big one. That's going to be probably even bigger than Daryl Dixon spinoff series or Dead City, I'm sure. So there was I think it was, is it New York Comic Con right now this weekend? There's a new trailer for The Ones Who Live. We haven't done a video on it yet, but the Rick and Michonne spinoff series. But it does look really great, and maybe we'll do a breakdown of that soon if I can get kind of back in the habit, a system down where, you know, I can make videos day to day. I'm not sure. But also I've been working on some other stuff too. I wanted to build a Turtles diorama. So I've done some videos on that, and it's pretty much finished now. It looks great. It turned out awesome. It was a lot of work. You know, I don't know how many hours, like 50 or 60 hours, something like that, to do it all. Dioramas and art like that takes a lot of time. So, but luckily was able to find the time. Jeff's been great watching the baby and everything while I've been dabbling with toys. So that's good. Yeah, New York Comic Con. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, Laugh Slap Productions. Yeah, they do. Yeah, you can take in NYC. They give you 2 weeks off for a kid. Yeah, well, the company gives you 2 weeks, but then the government in Canada, anyway, gives you the option for parental leave. You can take, like, you know, 35 weeks, I think it is, or you can take like a whole year extended. But if you take the year extended, it's obviously less. You know, if you do like the 35, then they cover you mostly, but it's not like, you know, it's not a ton, but it's enough to cover you for the time. So you'll be able to, you know, cover everything. But in our case, we kind of had to do it because, you know, it was, you know, a big thing and everything. And, you know, Jess was pretty sore after giving birth for a while. So definitely needed to help, definitely needed to take the time off to help watch the baby and everything and take care of him. So it's been great. Really, really good. So yeah, it's a good thing that they offer that. Really cool. And yeah, it's been really good so far. Having both of us makes it a lot easier. Yeah. Spin-offs so far, key one, Gilliam, good, I think. I think they've turned out great. Obviously, they're not as popular as the original Walking Dead series was, but I think they've turned out very well so far. Dead City's been awesome for first season. They've both been renewed for second seasons. The Daryl spin-off series has been really awesome as well. So we'll see what happens with the Ones Who Live, but I'm sure it'll be even bigger than either one. So I think it's turned out really great so far. The only thing is that you don't see that many characters go from the original series into the spin-offs. It feels like the formula is each one gets about 2 characters, unless you count Herschel, which is sort of like, I guess you kind of could count him, but he's sort of like an add-on for Maggie. He's sort of like an additional. He'll be important later, I'm sure. But, you know, each spin-off series gets like, you know, you got Daryl, and then you've got Maggie and Negan, and then you got Rick and Michonne. So, yeah. Hey, thanks, Diva After Dark. I appreciate it on the congratulations, and thanks, Last Slap, as well. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to have that. But sometimes you need to do that just because, like, for health and stuff like that. Very, very important. Sometimes Wise Words of Will says, what doesn't make sense to me is why Daryl would choose staying with Isabel and Laurent over going back to Judith when he's basically been her father figure for years at this point. Still a great finale. Well, I feel like for the finale, we don't really know what he's going to decide. It doesn't feel like to me, it doesn't seem like to me that Daryl has made up his mind yet. You know, you've got the ship that's there, and spoilers, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, you've got Laurent that's there, but you don't know if he's going to leave or if he's going to stay. And the other thing about Judith is Judith has a lot of other people there, not just Daryl, but she has other people there too that have also been looking after her and taking care of her and everything. She's got a whole community there. So it's not really the same equivalent for Judith versus Lawrence, he's, you know, they've been in big trouble. They've been in harm's way quite a few times, and Daryl's gotten them out of it. Whereas from our perspective back at the Commonwealth, it feels like Judith is probably safe and that she's not really in any danger or harm's way. So I don't think it's the same thing. My predictions for season 2, I think that he'll leave with them. That's what I think. I think that Laurent and Isabel will probably go with Daryl, and I think that they'll leave. Because I don't know if you want to do a season 2 also in France, because we've already seen it once. And it's sort of like, I feel like each season they should hit certain places. Like season 1 for the Daryl spin-off series is in France. Maybe season 2 you do in the UK or somewhere around there, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But the only thing about the French thing, though, is that they do have some cool Walker variants and stuff. So maybe they will want to have him kind of stay in and around there. But I'd rather see him leave France after the first season, and the second season maybe he goes to the UK, or he ends up somewhere else in Europe, or they begin their journey back. I'd love to see Canada, because you guys know obviously I'm Canadian, so that'd be cool. They mentioned Newfoundland in the episodes, so maybe we could see him land in Canada. That'd be really cool. We've never seen that before. There are a lot of Walking Dead fans in Canada, even though we don't have that much in the way of a population, like 30 million and some change. The population of Canada, I think, is about the population of New York, pretty much. Pretty much the same. And we have got a lot more space here, that's for sure, a lot more room. But that'd be cool to see him there, and then maybe he goes through there and then ends up traveling down through the States and across the border and everything from, northern Canada, maybe somewhere, wherever he lands, and then kind of works all the way down. They could make that like a season or something too if they wanted to do that. So I think that'd be really sweet if they could do something like that. Keewan asked, do we miss the main Walking Dead storyline? Well, no, because they used it all, right? Like, they finished it. So it would have been cool to see them continue another 16 episodes a season for the original... sorry. for the original Walking Dead. That's what I get for throat talking so much. It'd be cool to see, it would have been cool to see them continue from the original Walking Dead. But, they had used up all the comic book storyline. They used it all. So it wasn't like there was anything left that they had not already covered. They covered it all. You got Rick out there somewhere. You got the others. They could have done it in 16 episode seasons if they wanted to, and done like a season 12, season 13, whatever. My understanding is the reason why they didn't do that is because I think the roster budgets were too high. Like, I think that if you have everybody in the same show and you have to pay them all a bunch of money per episode, then it's really tricky. You have to either section off the episodes to only certain characters. It's really hard to have a lot of them in the same episode because I think they have to pay them based on their episodes. So whatever episodes they appear in, they get paid for, is my understanding of how it mostly works. Maybe there's some breakdown of that technically, but it's something like that. So if you do the original Walking Dead series and you do 16 episodes and you have 10 characters in it, and you have Rick and you have Michonne and you have Daryl, you have everybody in the same thing. You have Morgan, you put everybody in the same show, then you have to pay each and every one of them all for an episode. So if you do one episode that has all 10 of them in it, it's going to blow out your budget right there. It's going to be cost you a lot to do that episode, having to pay everybody to be in it, right? Whereas if you section off the series and you split them off into spin-offs, then you can have each character, like Norman Reedus will be that, and then you'll have a new cast of supporting characters around him. Maybe you bring one or two OGs in, but you won't have 10 of the original. You won't have them all in the same series to where you have to pay them all and your budget gets really high. You can split them off and then have them each do their individual shows and have AMC Premiere, AMC Plus for subscriptions, and you can make it work. So then you can have Daryl, Norman Reedus, he's off in his own series in Europe or in France. And then you have Rick and Michonne that have their own series. And then you have JDM and you have Maggie who have their own series. And you can split them off to where you only have to pay 2 of them per series or whatever, or 1. And it works really well, and you can do more episodes. Like this year, for example, The Ones Who Live got pushed to next year, but you get 6 episodes of Dead City, 6 extended episodes for Daryl. They're even longer. So it's more like 8 episodes. So that's 14 episodes. And then you got The Ones Who Live, which is another 6. So that's 20 episodes rather than 16, all in the one Walking Dead series. So it's a lot of it's the original Walking Dead didn't really end. It just splintered off because it kind of had to, just based on the way the budgets and the contracts work. That's just sort of the solution they found to it. And I think it's a good solution. I think it makes sense. It'd be cool to see everybody in the same series, but all at the same time. But it's probably not feasible with the way the contracts work and the way it works out. They have to split them off. Otherwise, it'd be too expensive per episode, and it wouldn't be profitable for AMC to do any more at all. They'd probably be losing money per episode, and obviously you can't do that. So it's a good solution. I like what they did. and it works. And we get to see Daryl. We get to see they just are in their own series now anyway, which is not a bad thing. It just means we get to concentrate on those characters more. It's just unfortunate for any of the other characters that were there in the original Walking Dead series that don't continue in these series. Any of the ones that were there from before that were still alive. So yeah. Little Savage says everything may end in 2030. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I know, it's tricky sometimes because, like, if you want to talk real life in 2030, the thing is that, this is like upper management all the time, right? Like, if you work for a corporation, you kind of get used to upper management sort of comes down from the shareholders with a lot of these big ideas, right? Like the upper level managers and stuff, they come down and they're like, we need to change this. We need to change that. We're really motivated to do this. We're really motivated to do that. They've got all these, grand ideas, especially new managers. You see this with new managers all the time. They come in, they got grand ideas for how they're going to, change the world and everything. But when it translates down from upper management to lower level management and to actual employees and customers, let's say, by the time it gets down there, it's like, it might not be feasible. It might not be tangible. So a lot of this stuff with 2030, where they want to get off gas and they want to use all electrical, they want to have everything, gridded up and central bank digital currencies and, smart cities and all this stuff. It's grand. Again, this is upper level. This is upper level management written all over it. They come down with all these grand ideas, but they're not the guy with the hard hat who's building the smart cities, right? They're not the guy with the hard hat who's running the bulldozer that's going to doze the thing or whatever they're going to do, right? So it's there's if you listen to the WF's talks and all that anyway, again, this is like upper level management. And they have got all these grand ideas and grand, but how are they going to pull them off? That's the question. How are you going to do it? And I just don't see the people going for it voluntarily. Maybe they have to grift on them and sell it to them better, get their salesmen on it, and figure out strategies for how you're gonna do this. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they do. But then again, there was a lot of doom and gloom around 2020, 2021. And really, at the end of it, what really happened? Not that much changed, really. At least not yet, anyway. Nothing major in my mind, like that major. The sky is falling type of, Chicken Little mentality. Nothing really materialized that much. It didn't really change that much. You go back to life, it's sort of like back to normal, mostly. For the most part, the masks didn't last. I don't know. A lot of the stuff didn't carry through. Censorship did, I guess, but a lot of the other stuff didn't really carry through that much. So I don't think the world is going to end in 2030. There might be some changes, but I think that upper level management's going to figure out that a lot of this stuff is grand ideas and big ideas. I don't know if it translates to ground level, that much. So, it's not so easy to just say we're going to do this, and it's just going to happen. So we'll see what ends up happening. We'll see what materializes. We got 6 years really to about that time. So we'll see what happens. But maybe nothing will really happen. Maybe nothing will work. I don't know. We'll find out what happens. Okay, let's see. Takashi says, Trev, these sequels do have considerably larger production value than the main Walking Dead. Dead City on $12 million per episode. Later seasons of Walking Dead, $5 to $6 million per episode times 16. Well, when you have a reduced amount, you can do a bit more. But in terms of the roster costs, I think are a lot less than what they would be having everybody in the same episodes, right? So, I don't know, maybe I guess in some ways it might be a bit ambitious. There are certainly a lot of effects in Dead City and stuff. I wonder if Daryl Dixon costs as much to make. I bet you it's way cheaper than Dead City was. But Dead City showed New York, and it was really quite cool, dude. Really, really cool. So, yeah. So, season 2 of Daryl Dixon, what do we think is going to happen? Write your comments through here. Let me hear what your guys' predictions are. I think Daryl will leave, but he's going to bring them with him. That's what I think we're going to see. Yeah, and I'd like to see some different locations too. They could maybe do France for a little bit of season 2, but then I'd like to see some different locations after that, So that'd be cool to see. Yeah, Mark Kohler says, Trev, hope you're doing well. I have to be honest, I'm very disappointed in Daryl's show. I thought Dead City was better, but I'm hoping all the budget goes into Rick's show. Well, I think that Rick's series should be the biggest. The Ones Who Live should be the biggest Walking Dead spinoff for sure, just because Rick's returning in it. So it's going to be big. It's going to be big. But yeah, it's okay if you didn't like the Daryl Dixon spinoff series. That's all right. You might not like every spinoff they do. I didn't really like World Beyond at all. I didn't really like Tales of the Walking Dead that much. I mean, some of the episodes were good, but that Groundhog Day episode was so bad, it just ruined the whole first season for me. So, we all have our own tastes, and maybe you don't like the French stuff. I did actually like the French stuff because I think it's got like a World War II vibe. It's like old world. It's very cool. That's what everybody thinks of when they think of like Europe, and at least I do when I think of France, Germany, the UK, everywhere around there, all of Europe. I always think of World War II. So yeah. Next year, two series. Well, I don't know. I don't know when they're going to be able to get the different series done for next year. Like, we'll see The Ones Who Live, Rick and Michonne, but I don't know if we're going to see other Walking Dead series. Like, will season 2 of Dead City be done? Will season 2 of Daryl be done? Because the thing is that they had the stoppage for the writer's strike, which luckily they were able to recently sidestep and continue. But I think it probably will delay things at least a little bit. But at least we'll get to see one season of The Ones Who Live, and then we'll get to see season 2 of Daryl and season 2 of Dead City at some point, whenever that is, later on probably. Yeah, Normandy, D-Day. Yeah, that's right. Duke Chronic. Really good stuff. It was very cool. Yeah. Let's see. So he also said these spinoffs will be planned better, but the finale of all will be in Rick's show. I think that's probably true. Yeah, I think that's probably true, MK. It probably will all culminate. Like, you get the sense that maybe you'll see Morgan reunited with Rick in Rick's show. You get the sense maybe you see Carol and Daryl reunited with Rick in Rick's show as well. Maybe like an older scene or something. I don't know, because it depends, right? Like, it depends on how well the series do as well. If one of them becomes really popular, maybe they don't want to combine it. Like, if the Daryl and maybe Carol, if Carol, continues in season 2 and stuff, if that ends up being really popular for season 2, then they may not be as apt to have them all join in. We have to see how many more seasons they want to do of the other, spin-offs, and when they'll be joined all together. You got to keep in mind, The Walking Dead did so many seasons, right? Like, so many seasons. I've been watching 80s Turtles with my son and Jess, my wife, and we've been going through some of the episodes because I got to put something on for the baby just to like look at sometimes. He likes to look at it and hear the sounds and stuff. He'll watch it. He doesn't really understand too much because he's only 4 months old now. But you put it on just to keep him busy and stuff. And I love Turtles. You guys know that. But the 80s Turtles series lasted from 87, and it lasted 10 years, 10 seasons. 87 to, I think it was 96 or 97. And they did like over 100 episodes. They did tons of episodes. They even did a Paris episode. And season 7, the Turtles go to like Europe. They go to Paris. They go to the Eiffel Tower. They go to other places in Europe. And so, they do 10 seasons of it. And by the time it was done, I think pretty much everybody, after the decade was done, everybody, especially with the Red Sky episodes, which were like the last 3 seasons, which were not very good. Seasons 8 through 10, the Turtles, the cartoon series was really bad. And so basically, after that point, people do get tired of seeing something for a decade, right? Like, if you watch something for 10 years, whether it's Turtles or it's Smallville or it's House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, or it's Walking Dead, people are going to get tired of something after that long. So I think the fact that they've even been able to do any direct spin-offs is great. And we have to see how many more years they want to do of it and how many more people are interested in continuing watching the Walking Dead spin-off series, or if they want to have them all culminate in the Rick Show and finish off in a couple years, they could do that too. But definitely going from 2010 till now, 13 years later, and 14 years having Rick and Michonne spinoff return, and at least a couple years of that, you're looking at like 15, 16 years for Walking Dead. That's like the strongest run of a comic book to a TV show ever. You know, that AMC, I think, has the strongest adaptation run of any comic book series to a TV show ever, TV universe ever, you know, that I can think of. Again, with the original Turtles running 10 years, Smallville 10. I don't know. There was some other good ones. Supernatural ran for a while, but I don't think that was based on a comic or anything that I remember. So The Boys is doing pretty good. But yeah, that's like The Walking Dead has like the strongest run from one to the other ever. Even like Avengers Assemble, which was a cartoon series, that only lasted for a couple years anyway. I forget how many seasons it was. Spider-Man the Animated Series was like 5 seasons, 6 seasons, something like that. So yeah, Walking Dead has crushed it, no doubt about it. And if people get tired of it now and they don't want to watch anymore after, you know, 14 years, 13 years of doing it, well, you know, they've already gone past what any other, you know, series I can think of was able to do. The only other thing I can think of is like, you know, episodic shows like The Simpsons has been on forever. Wrestling, WWE or WWF, Raw, and that has been around forever. You know, but there's very few series that last this long. That's a long time. So yeah, and it's still popular enough to run it. So yeah. Okay, what else did you guys say here? Let's see. Sons in the Shield was 7 seasons. That's pretty good. Yeah, 7 seasons is pretty good. It seems to be difficult to go past 7 years. 7 seasons seems to be like kind of like a sweet spot. If you go past that, it's pretty hard to keep people entertained. At some point, they get tired of seeing zombies being killed, right? Like at some point, they do get tired of it. That happens with everything. Pigpen says, my wife gave birth, Trev, and the doctor named him Michonne. What? What are you talking about? Pigpen, that's stupid. What are you talking about? Okay, let's see. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't understand you. I don't understand you, man. I don't understand you. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Mark says, I don't think so, Trev. I really think there will only be 2 to 3 seasons at most of all of them. Well, again, I think it's up to the fans, to be honest with you. I think it's up to the viewers to determine how long they go for. And if one of them, like suppose the Rick and Michonne series is like the biggest show on TV. Suppose it smashes everything and it, it tops out everything. It's like the biggest series. If that's the case, they could go past 2 or 3 years. Maybe that's a good prediction, is 2 or 3 years. That brings you up to about, 16 years or something, 15 or 16 years. That's an incredible run for any TV series. You can't expect anything to go on past that. That's really it's really amazing. So yeah, okay. Let's see. What else did you guys say here? Kuhn asked, do you think Rick will lose his hand in his series? Well, maybe they could do that. They never really adapted it for the original Walking Dead series from the comics. They could do something like that if they want to, like a CRM governor type character. They could bring in a new governor type character because the governor from the comics looks completely different than David Morrissey. David Morrissey's amazing and everything, but the comic book governor looks more like Danny Trejo or someone like that. He doesn't look anything like David Morrissey. So they could do an equivalent for that, something like that with the CRM. But it could be good if they do that. It could be exciting and stuff. Just a pain to have to, afterwards to have to CG it in all the time and stuff, or have him wear a prosthetic or something. Yeah. Yeah. The viewer numbers. Yeah, it all comes down to that. That's what it comes down to. If people want to see it, they'll do it. If people are not so interested, then they won't. And that's really all there is to it. They probably would still be doing the original Walking Dead TV series if it got enough viewers per episode. If it got like 5 million per episode still, I tend to think they would not have canceled it at all or ended it. they would not have ended it. They would have just kept it going. Because why would you stop a good thing? You wouldn't. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I'm not, like in terms of the specifics of it, I don't really care that much. I just like to see, a good series with Rick and everything. And, it'll be good to see him back again. And if they do that, fine. If they don't, that's okay too. Doesn't really matter to me. Takashi says, I do think Daryl Dixon is a very huge production, just like Dead City. Yeah, well, the first couple episodes look good. I agree with you there for Paris. But I don't know. Maybe it is true also that when you do different environments, that they're expensive. A lot of the original Walking Dead series is just like in the forest, places like that, where the cost is not very much. But it's cool to get to see different locations, different environments is really, really great. After Glenn died, yeah, but a lot of it too is just the amount of episodes you do, and then some people get burned out, they have to leave. They might not be able to do it every year. Some people quit. These different things happen. That's just what it is, right? Little Savage says, Daryl's show was filming season 2 right after week 1. After 1 was done, and they took 4-week break. Season 2, I believe, have 3 episodes to film, and now they should be done filming, and the ones who lived and editing. Well, maybe May. That'd be great. I'd love to see it in May or the summertime. That'd be really cool. Let's see if they can get it done. I really have no predictions as far as that goes or how many episodes they want to do, but I'd love to see a second season. I'd just like to see Laurent and Isabel continue with Daryl in the Daryl Dixon spinoff series. I think that would be good. Even if they have Isabel become like a love interest for Daryl, I think that would be good, and him kind of become like a fatherly, figure for Laurent. I think that'd be good also. And then at some point reunited with Carol, like at the end of the second season or something. I think that would be really good. Yeah, so hopefully they do something like that. We'll see. Yeah, maybe we'll see what they do. Let's see. Mark Kohler says that I know it's not popular opinion, Trev, but I'm upset with what they did to Fear the Walking Dead. They ruined it, killing off the OG cast and bringing Morgan over. It was really good until then. Well, it worked though for Fear with the crossover, because they did some seasons there where they had Morgan leave and then continue into Fear right afterwards, and it worked. The ratings were really high for Fear, and it really gave it a boost. So I think it's hard to argue that it probably lasted longer because Morgan was there. If you didn't cross Morgan over, then it may not have lasted as long. So that's it. It may have ended a few years ago. Definitely, I think Fear the Walking Dead has had a great run also. And I enjoyed a lot of seasons of it. I enjoyed some of the episodes. Definitely during the summer, it was a fun series to have. But, now the original series is over. They've done, this is the 8th season. They did a lot. They probably could have ended it in season 6 or something. They probably could have called it a wrap in, season 6 or 7. It's a lot of episodes, too. 16 episodes every year. They did a lot. So, I'm glad they're giving it a good ending and everything, and that's good. But I don't think it could have gone any better than what it did. If you think it could have gotten 10 seasons or something, it's I don't know. Probably. We'll see for the finale what they do. But most likely, I think that's what they're doing, yeah. Probably bringing back, reuniting, stuff like that at the very end. Whether or not they do anything with it afterwards is a good question. Whether they want to do any other series with the Fear crew at all, or if they're done with that and they decide that they're finished with that. If I had to predict, I think they're probably done with it after this episode, or after this season. I think the final, 6 episodes, I think. I think they've given the characters a lot of time. I don't know if I could see them translating any of those, converting them into, except for Morgan, into another Walking Dead spinoff series or something. It feels like they're kind of wrapping up that first generation of Walking Dead, and I don't think we're going to see those characters continue in any spin-off series or anything. I don't think so. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Just reading your guys' comments here real quick. The Last of Us, for you, Takashi. I like The Last of Us, but I don't like it that much. I think it's just okay. I didn't think it was amazing or anything. A lot of people are fans of the video game, So I understand, and it's a new series, new seasons and stuff. So I understand why people are excited for it at the beginning. But the first season for me, I thought was just okay. I didn't think it did anything for me that was like any better than any Walking Dead stuff. I think the first season of Daryl's better than The Last of Us, but even Dead City, I think it's pretty much, the main series, Dead City and Daryl Dixon spin-off series. I think they're all better than The Last of Us first season. But we'll see what they do with it going forward and how many people are interested in it going forward. It just has a loyal fan base, I think, for the, from the video game and everything. But I didn't enjoy it that much. I didn't think it was that great. Yeah, well, unfortunately, at some point, very disappointing. Mark's the same thing for Last of Us. It was just okay. I had one of the creators of it left me a comment. He was explaining something to me for Last of Us, who works on the show, and he was explaining something. I think they try to do like a Hunters. He was talking about like the Hunters thing. They try to do something like with Walking Dead, like Fear the Hunters, that kind of thing. And I thought it was okay. I don't know. Last of Us is good. It's not. I don't think it's amazing. I just think it's good. If you've seen, it depends like what you watch too. If you don't watch Walking Dead, you probably like it more. If you've seen every episode of Walking Dead and the spin-off series up until now, you'll probably, like me, watch The Last of Us and think, I've pretty much seen almost all this type of stuff before. It's a little bit different because it's like fungus and they communicate with each other differently, so it's a little bit different, and that's cool. But the environments are nice. They're, HBO puts up a good budget for their episodes, but they didn't really do anything. I think that the original, Walking Dead TV series and the Walking Dead universe has already done quite a bit of. In some cases, many times over. Like the survival horror aspect of things has been done many, many, many times with Walking Dead already. So, just dropped on it. Yeah, well, we'll take a look. I'll go take a look after this, and we'll do that. But basically, that's what I think we're probably going to see for the second season. Let's see if I'm right in the trailer and what they go ahead and include. It should be good. Yeah, second season of Daryl should be great. And I, with YouTube too, I'd like to continue in the future. What I'll probably do is what I'm doing right now is I'll probably just release my reviews for, the episodes. And maybe I won't review every episode, because the thing is with doing this with you guys, sometimes I don't always have that much time to do it. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably just do the reviews for the important episodes like premiere, finale. Maybe I'll do weekly reviews for the shows that are good out of all the spin-offs and everything. But going forward, because the original Walking Dead TV series is over now, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a step back from YouTube a bit, because the original series ended, and so it's like it doesn't really make sense for me to like dedicate all my time consistently. I got to do other stuff too, have a family, do other things like that, because with me, I was already like working my day job and then doing YouTube for Walking Dead afterwards. And so it basically jammed up my whole life for like a long time. Better part of over a decade, I think. So I didn't do a whole lot else aside from that. So, I'm kind of taking a little bit of a step back. I'm not going to make videos 7 days a week like I used to, or 5 days a week or anything like that. But maybe I'll do like, the reviews for the new episodes, reviews for major trailers, stuff like that maybe. And I'll kind of do them when I have time, like when I can get to it. That's just the way that I think, makes sense going forward. Also, there's not as many people watching Walking Dead now, so it's a little bit tricky for me to do it. There's a lot of censorship online too, so it's tricky, right? So that's kind of why, especially this year too with the newborn and everything. But going forward, I'll probably do something like that still. I don't think I'm going to get back into making like 5 or 7 videos a week like I did at one time. There was a few years there I made like 10 videos a week for years on end for Walking Dead. That was when the comic was out though too. So there was the comic and the TV series, and we were doing all the content for both. We were covering like everything. And so nowadays it's like, I don't think I have the energy to do that anymore. I can't even really dedicate it to it because I got other stuff I have to do, right? You can't do that forever. Lucas Green says, hey Trev, I just got into The Walking Dead this month with my mother. on season 4. Enjoying it? Nice. So you're like a new viewer? Nice. That's cool. You waited quite a while. But you can check out the Daryl spinoff series. You'd still watch it and like it. It doesn't like ruin any of the stuff from before. Amelia Cara Mia says, honestly, you're better off watching a playthrough of the first game all the way through Last of Us the show. Second game was a disaster. I'm not too into games. I wouldn't really watch a playthrough of a video game personally. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to do that. For me anyway. So yeah. But I did want to let you guys know that going forward, kind of I'm not doing like a channel update video or anything, but just so you understand, going forward for the videos, I'm kind of taking it a step back in my life rather than trying to, go forward. The channel's got like almost, what do we got? Like almost 5,000 videos in it now, something like that. It's like 4,000 some odd videos in the channel now. So it's so much content over the years that I've done. It's sort of like, I can't dedicate my whole life to just making videos and then die or something, right? Like I gotta have a family. I gotta do other stuff too. So that's why, like a lot of why I did that this year and stuff, and why we're kind of not making as many videos as usual. So there's that. But we'll do what we can when we have time, and that's good. Yeah. Lucas Green says, Trev, have you ever discussed if you think Shane was a bad guy? Yes, I have. There's videos for that in the channel, Lucas. Go ahead and take a look. You'll find videos from Season 2, Season 3. Lots of videos discussing that stuff. Mark Collar, the glory days, Trev, with a heart. Yeah, thanks, man. I'll heart you back on that one. That's a good one. Yeah, for sure. It's just like, what can you do, man? That's how it goes, right? Like, I compare it to, because I love Turtles also, right? So I think about, like in the 80s, like Turtles was like, you got to understand, if you grew up in the 80s, 90s, any of you guys who were Turtle fans, you'll understand exactly the comparison, because it was like from like 87 to like 93, you had the Turtles cartoon series, was like the most popular cartoon series in the world at that time, at least for those, not comedy series like Simpsons or something, but like for Saturday morning cartoon type thing, Turtles was the best in the world. It was like, everybody was watching it. There was Turtles, Ghostbusters, X-Men was starting later, Spider-Man animated series was starting later, Batman animated series was around then. But like for a while, the Turtles from like 87 to like 93 was untouchable. They would just like crank out these cartoon episodes. They were really fun. A lot of them were hilarious. And then they cranked out the Turtles movie, the first movie, Secret of the Ooze. But then by the time you got to about the third movie, and you got into like season 8 for the Turtles, and it had been on for a long time, all of a sudden nobody wanted to touch it anymore. Nobody really wanted anything to do with it. Whereas, in 91, 92, and 90, maybe I'll go a little further. Let's say 89, 90, 91, you're selling toys like you can't believe. The Turtles figures are just flying off the shelves. Everybody's buying them. They're buying any version of Turtles you can think of. They're selling Turtles who play sports. They're selling volleyball Turtles. They're selling football player Turtles. They're selling ice hockey Turtles. They're selling, spitting Turtles that spit at you and stuff. They're selling head dropper Turtles. They're selling, I could go on for a while, Star Trek Turtles. These are actual figures, by the way, from Playmates. They're selling Technodromes. They're selling sewer layer places. They're selling all the stuff. And it's just flying off the shelves. Christmas time, parents the shelves are empty. You go to Toys R Us, the Turtle shelves are clean. You waited too long. Sorry, Mom, you waited too long. The Turtle shelves are empty. It's over, right? So you go from that, in that, phenomenon period for Turtles. A couple years later, you get into the Red Sky episode, Season 8. The third Turtles movie didn't do as well as the first two. It was still fun, but it didn't do that well. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, I don't like that Turtle stuff anymore. That's like, that's so like, 1990 or something, right? When the first movie came out, that's still like 91 or whatever. Now it's X-Men, or now it's Batman or Spider-Man or whatever, and that's just what it is, man. Like, things get hot for a while. Sometimes they become a worldwide phenomenon, not just a TV series or movie, but they can become, cereal and stuff. But if you look at Walking Dead, for example, if you go to the stores now, and I've been going to lots of stores this year getting clothes and stuff for the baby and stuff, there's no Walking Dead merch anywhere, right? Like if you go to a discount store or to the mall or something, you look at the shirts, right? If you look at the shirts, I got this old Trev Stand 2 shirt. Check this out. Like that. Pretty cool, right? I like the blue. It's one of my favorite shirts. Okay. So I do have shirts, by the way, if anyone's interested. If you want to get a Trev Stand 2 shirt, link is below usually for Teespring. I got a Teespring thing. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, in Walking Dead's heyday, you could go to Walmart, you could go to any T-shirt shop, and you would find Walking Dead TV shirts, T-shirts. You would see a shirt with Daryl on it, right? Like killing it, poster, right? I just bought this at a store. Like I just went to a store and they had this awesome Daryl poster. I just bought it, right? That was back in like season 7 or 8 or something, right? Like back then. That was there. You would have all some of the McFarlane Walking Dead action figures. You would have zombie shirts and different Walking Dead shirts with AMC just with zombies on them or whatever. Posters at Walmart, Walking Dead posters every year. But then after about season, 9, let's say, especially when you get to like season 10, it starts getting to that same thing that happened to Turtles where people are like, oh, I don't watch zombie stuff anymore. I don't watch Walking Dead anymore. I stopped watching after Glenn was killed, or I stopped watching after, Rick left or whatever. So that's what happened. And so if you go to the stores now, you don't see, 5 Walking Dead shirts at Walmart, different types of shirts. You don't see all that merch that you would see before, and it's the exact same thing that happened with Turtles in the 90s or, X-Men after that. And eventually, you get your 5 seasons or whatever. That's just how it goes. But with Walking Dead, at least it was it was long, right? It was like, damn, dude, like 12 seasons basically with the extensions and then the spin-offs. So it's had an incredible run, and you can't always expect to see that kind of a run forever for, that's just what happens eventually. Eventually people have enough of, Buffy slaying vampires, right? You watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Eventually, people get tired of seeing Sarah Michelle Gellar run around like this with a stake, stabbing zombies, right? Zombies, vampires. Okay, wrong undead creature, right? Okay, stabbing vampires with a stake. So eventually, that gets to be old, and then zombies as well too. Same deal, dude. That's just what it is. Why do I think The Walking Dead died a little? It's just fatigue, man. Like, you can't do 16 episodes a year. There's no mistakes as far as, like, what they did or anything. I mean, if you look at Turtles, for example, the Red Sky episodes were terrible. So they made some huge mistakes with Turtles in season 8, 9, and 10 that obviously finished it off. They tried to make it, like, action only, just like X-Men. Basically, Turtles became a parody of X-Men, and it was really bad. It wasn't good at all. The Red Sky episodes were awful. You can look them up if you want to know what I'm talking about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Red Sky episodes. And they did they tried to be X-Men is what they tried to do. It was like a bad X-Men parody. It was not good. Walking Dead didn't do anything like that. Walking Dead had an awesome ending. They did the best they could with the characters that they had available. Andrew Lincoln had to leave, so they had to do that. It was affecting his personal life, right? So they had to do that. Then they bring him back later. That's awesome, man. That's as well as you can do. It's even better. Look at Game of Thrones. HBO with Game of Thrones dropped the ball pretty hard. Their ending was terrible. They haven't fixed it yet. They need to fix it. They haven't done it yet. At some point, somebody at HBO's got to, get some brains. And it's kind of like a zombie pun. So brains. Get some brains and fix the ending for Game of Thrones. They really have to fix it because they haven't yet. But Walking Dead killed it, man. They did an awesome job. They had an incredible ending. They ran for a very long time. The spin-offs have great potential to at least last for a little while. And that's basically the strongest run of a comic book series that I can think of. I can't think of a better one than that. I don't know what else is really good. Stranger Things has been good. It's had a great run. Some of the, there's always different stuff on, but Walking Dead absolutely crushed it, no doubt about it. Thank you for the super chat there, you, Takashi. I really appreciate it. PS 801. It says, I feel like it's impossible to ever match the main Walking Dead episodes 408, 601, 609, 801 to 809 in terms of score, editing, and characters, even though these new Walking Dead sequels cost more than the main Walking Dead did. Never say never. When Rick comes back, you're going to see some hype with him coming back. The thing is, though, too, if you look at the Daryl spinoff series, you don't have the viewership in anywhere near what it was then. Like I said, you're talking about, and those were awesome episodes. Don't get me wrong; those were incredible. But part of what makes them incredible too is that it was the #1 show on cable at that time. It was a phenomenon. Walking Dead was a phenomenon. It wasn't just a TV series, but the comic books were selling like hotcakes. The TV series was must-see. Every week people would talk about it at school after the episodes. They would talk about it right after. It was a cultural phenomenon. You got T-shirts everywhere. You got all this stuff. So it was really popular. Now, those episodes were incredible. But if you look at The Walking Dead's ending, it was huge too. I mean, it was a huge, like, you got Daryl. He's carrying Judith out and everything. Really awesome. So they did an incredible job there. Big explosions, all this stuff. So even if they do stuff, Takashi, that's huge like that, even if they do huge episodes like that, if you don't have that phenomenon behind you, it doesn't really take hold in the culture, because then the other people are not really talking about it. They're not watching it. And then you feel like you're in a bubble because you loved it. You think it's amazing, but there aren't as many people who are as hyped about it as you are. You end up finding yourself being the only one who's hyped, and it doesn't work. Hype is like goes off of the rest. But it's even the same thing with, if you look at the Avengers movies too, and Marvel fatigue and that stuff. They've done like so many Marvel movies now. I don't even watch them now. I don't care. Like, same with most of DC stuff too. I don't really care. Just because the amount they've done. The hype for the first Avengers movie was huge when you finally get to see them together. The hype for the other ones and Endgame was pretty big. But after that, even if they do more Avengers movies now, you're not going to get that much hype. Though, if they bring the X-Men in and they do like a X-Men Avengers, now that will be big because that's something new and that's a huge, combination that you'd see. So maybe that has potential to become, really, really popular in the culture for sure. So, So even if they throw more money at it, I agree with you. Even if they do, or they do stuff that's even bigger, it also, you become desensitized to it to a degree. They have to do more and more to get the same kind of a pop as they did before in the, some of the best episodes. No Sanctuary, No Way Out. You mentioned All Out War. So, yeah, that's just kind of the way it is. It's just like the more you do of it like that over years and years and years, people do become sort of desensitized to it after a while. It becomes harder to get the same reaction from people as you did originally. And we'll do a couple more here, and then we'll probably wrap up. Thanks, Little Savage. I appreciate the comment about 3-hour streams. I'd love to do longer streams, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I could, but I got to check with Jess first before I start and let her know, like, we're going to do a long one. Also, I don't know how many people are going to join and how chatty they're going to be, so it depends. It's hard to keep it going. What's up, Dory? How you doing, man? Have a good night at work. No problem. You can check later, replay later, review later. No problem. You don't have to do it right now. Chris89, we'll see. I'll take a close look at the trailer, Chris89, after this. I haven't, closely. I saved the trailer, but I haven't actually gone through it yet because just been with the baby all the time, so that monopolizes my attention. So I haven't really gone through it too much myself. I haven't combed through it yet. Maybe. Let's see. William Coakley. Hey, Trev, what horror movies do you watch in October? Well, right now with the baby, we're not really watching a whole lot of horror movies because it's like, you don't really want to watch that, have that stuff playing with the baby there. So, but I don't know. I like Stranger Things. That's fun to watch during October for sure. Walking Dead, obviously. As far as scary movies go, I don't know. We watch some classic stuff. We'll go through some of that, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge horror movie guy, to be honest with you, either. Yeah, I think all eyes will be on the Rick Show. I agree. I think they should actually try to get them showing back-to-back episodes. Well, it'll be fun to see what they do with the Rick and Michonne spin-off series. Takashi, now season 10 and 11 definitely do have dramatically superior music and stuff than Dead City and Daryl Dixon, especially stuff like episode 1124. I'm trying to think which one you mean by 1124, because they did the extended, right. So you mean the finale episode? Is that what you're talking about? How many episodes did you do? Season, yeah, 3 parts. It was bigger than anything they've done since. So, yeah, like my point, I guess I'm saying really is just I'm just saying that when it's really popular and there's a lot of hype around it, that makes a difference for the level of the episodes and everything. So yeah. Let's see. Well, I think that's most of what we wanted to talk about for the second season. We'll probably do some more videos this week. Mark's his favorite will always be 1 to 3. 1996, the Frightener. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen that one. No. Series finale. Yeah. That's what. Yeah, you got it. That's right. Series finale. That's right. Because they did 3 parts, so that's 24. I got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude. So I don't know. We'll do probably some more videos this week if I get a chance, if I get time. We'll take a look at the trailer from New York Comic Con for The Ones Who Live. We'll take a look at the Daryl Season 2 trailer. We'll see what we got, and it should be some fun. But last one we'll go through. Stranger Things was living off the nostalgia of 80s and 90s films. The Walking Dead was new and fresh. Trev, remember the height of The Walking Dead? It was like, oh my God, it's Sunday. We have to watch it. Yeah, I know. It was so much fun, dude. It was honestly the most fun, like in entertainment, the most fun I've ever had. And I really love 80s Turtles too. So, but yeah, The Walking Dead is the best. Number 1 for me ever, for sure. The most enjoyable, the most fun, the most anticipation between episodes. The most anticipation for finales, premieres, everything like that. It was so hyped and so much fun. It was really, really awesome. So I'm glad that at least we have, something for it with the spin-offs to continue to get to see, even if it's, not going to be at that same level it was. Who knows? Maybe the Rick and Michonne spin-off could bring it back somewhat, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. All right, dudes. All right, last one. I'm a little disappointed in Andrew Lincoln. I want him to become a huge movie star. He deserves it. Well, that's that's up to him. What series he wants to do or what movies he enjoys doing. I don't think he really cares much for fame. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like he cares much for, trying to get some kind of big windfall or something. I think he just more is like a classical, actor and wants to do things that he enjoys and he feels passionate about. That's the sense I get from him, and we'll see. But I'm sure the Rick and Michonne spin-off series will be huge and be really, really popular. All right, let's see. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you for joining, and thank you for hanging out with me in the stream. I'd like to get back at doing these every Sunday, but I don't know if I can swing it. We can try. Before you leave, if you don't mind, Darcy, also the comic month reviews. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, dude. The comic book was also killer at that time, really awesome, and was so much fun, for sure. I wish there was something in entertainment now that I enjoy as much as I did Walking Dead when it was in its prime, but there isn't, and that sucks. The stuff I also like, I watch a lot of stuff, but House of the Dragon's really good. That's also great. Stranger Things still good when it's on. It's not on that often. It's pretty hot when it's on, but aside from that, that's pretty much it. There isn't really anything that's like really that good right now. That's another reason why I haven't been making too many videos on YouTube. Not just the baby's the biggest thing, obviously, but if there was something I really was into, I probably would be finding time to try to push myself to create content for it. But there aren't that many things right now that are that great. X-Men 97 does look pretty good, though. If you liked X-Men in the 90s, the continuation cartoon series for that, X-Men 97, could be really good. So we'll see how that turns out as well, too. So thank you guys for joining the video tonight. Before you leave, thumb it up, subscribe. If any of you guys happen to be new and are checking out the stream and you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom. And that'll be it for this video tonight, guys. We'll see you again soon for another. As always, this is Trev, and